rising is grand, and whew, have I left my sunglasses in the car or in the house? I may have left my sunglasses in the house. Okay, so I'm gonna go without sunglasses today. That's all right. All right, we're going without sunglasses. You get to see my eyes even when the sun is in them. All right. So, ego stuff. Yesterday I was doing some personal reflection about ego, and that came about because I was looking at my feed, and then my feed just, it threw me like an old school that I either hadn't seen in a while or don't remember enough of the content, but it was one of James True's old lectures from like 3 years ago or so, right? Back when the man was bear friendly, so he's interacting with a lot of bears in chat and stuff like that. Good times, very funny. That discussion was in, it was involving the whole like, we were seeing, by that point we had seen what the New Age anti-ego ethos, the damage that it had done to many people who are not really spiritually developing beyond having like a basic routine that kind of more serves their identity in the first place, right? And you have to be honest with yourself when it comes to that the kind of discussion of the looking at the ego in the self, and then looking at what it is like to remove the ego. And like, I've had this conversation ad nauseum on my channel because of my relationship with ego, right? Because the New Age movement screws up in a big way because astrology, right? So like, you want to talk about ego and astrology, and then you have to have a conversation about Aries and Leo, and I'm an Aries, a fifth house Aries, with a lot of planets in Leo. So it's like, you got to have a completely different conversation with an Aries and a Leo, because it's you practically have to insult them on a fundamental level by saying, this is the way that it's done, and you have to go against the way you were fucking designed by the higher force in your incarnation, this life cycle. And then we're all good with that because we're all still deprogramming, we're still operating in what the Archaics community calls the dungeon programming, which is which Christian or Abrahamic suffering is like the high principle of it and whatnot. And so like, they like that program. Doesn't matter what belief system it's thrown upon, it's just whichever belief system that program works with, that's what's going to stick. But because of everything I've been going through, the personal changes I'm interested in making, my and me like thinking about, am I stepping into more authenticity, or am I stepping into a bigger facade, right? Because there's a way that I am that is at the end of the day, it's like I'm the real deal, in which everybody is saying watch out for these red fucking flags. It takes a long time to see that it's the real deal and that I'm not just whatever. It's just, like, I have a raw and innocent joy in being the way that I am. Now, I don't have a raw and innocent joy in fucking up. I don't have a raw and innocent joy in irritating other people, etc., right? And it is not because I am surrendering my authority and thus saying that I assume that the collective around me is right and I am wrong, right? These are all the little fucking things that I have to wrestle with, or had to wrestle with, because it's a tough case. And I was talking with one of my mentors, last night, and it's just like, it's the lonely life of following the heart, right? And he was just like, yeah, you're damn right it is, right? Because he's also a guy who is been through it in a completely different way, right? Certainly not as cringy as I am. I will cringe so hard, right? And that's why I love that meme about, like, you reach ascension when you embrace your cringe. Or, I don't know, I forget how the meme goes. It's just one of those memes that, like, you just need it, because I've just been too embarrassed this year. That meme is in the locker room now. It's all right. It's all right. Like, sometimes when you got to do these things, you know how other people are. The most authentic thing you can do is assume the mantle of the villain. That's the most authentic thing you can do in the fucking world, is be the villain. And for my little fucking period of time where I was very upset this month, I just embraced, like, look at if you looked at the poetic prose in which I fucking spoke about the people that had stirred my emotions, like, I was totally fucking, like, put on my cape and my evil crown and my cackling and my rubbing of the hands. It's just like, and all this shit, right? And isn't that shadow? Isn't that all shadow is all fuck? Right? And that's throwing your shadow out there without being ashamed of it. It's just like, okay, listen, you want to treat me like the bad guy. You want to treat my gestures of sharing my good work, my gnosis, my jovial presence, and you just want to take a big shit on it when there's almost nobody in this fucking universe that, if they fucking did that, I would fucking even care. But no, people that I care actually fucking did that. So that fucking threw me off a cliff. I said, ah! Right? And I said, screw you! I burn the world! What's up? I see peoples. I see I've been liked. I've been licked. Arrogant. What do we got here? Oh, with the glare. I can't see my friends. Alright, I can't read any of your stuff until I get to a better lighting. So, anyway, thanks for being here. Yeah. So, a lot of the macrocosm stuff you saw manifest in media, in politics, with bloggers, with myself, or whatnot, right? You know, it's this weird war of the ones who embrace their ego, the ones who reject people who embrace their ego, and all sorts of people that they're trying to manipulate in between, right? And those become, and it becomes a new binary, right? And there's always going to be these binaries, right? There's always going to be the is and the is not. So you obviously want to focus on the positive affirmations, the manifestation. So you ultimately want to focus on the is, because the is not is a waste of time, right? So it's a question on how much you can focus on the is versus the is not, and that can suck when you've lost something, because you eventually have to let it go and turn it into the is not, accept it as the is not, and focus on what is. And that has an ego relationship. Oh, why am I shirtless? Oh, so people that are extremely insecure about their bodies can go the fuck away. But anyway, because, you know, if 2020 wasn't going to put a mask on me, you're sure as hell not going to put a fucking shirt on me. Wondering how many places I could have walked around shirtless as long as I wore a mask. But we'll never know, because that scientific experiment is over. Thank the higher force. Anyway. Oh, that's nice. Oh, don't use the word nice. Nice means naive. A naive person is kind because they are afraid. Unconsciously, they're afraid because of their ignorance. Find a better word. To be honest with you, you're pretty cool. Well, I appreciate it. I did lose my cool, though. I did lose my cool, but I got it back. But it's okay to lose your cool, because, you know, being cool all the time will get boring, right? And you have to break it. You have to break it. Sometimes you have to break your own happiness. Sometimes, like, we're running away from sadness, we're running away from anger, we're running away from all of our feelings. And in that process, we're hiding behind the ego, right? You'll have a much healthier ego when you can have all your feelings, and have your feelings so confidently that you can have them in fucking public, right? To have your feelings confidently in public, it changes the dynamic of when they say men shouldn't cry. Oh no, you can cry in public, and you can cry in public without it being this emotionally manipulative in the negative sense, right? Manipulation has a negative connotation, because it looks like you are coercing things to go your way by withholding information, right? And thus, we don't like to use the word manipulate, right? And I would feel bad if I was manipulating a person. Now, am I trying to influence? Perhaps. It depends on our relationship with the word influence, because we get the word influenza, and influence is kind of the same thing, and 2020 was a psychic virus, not a medical one. And I don't care if something bad just happens to me in 5 minutes after this live stream, because I just said that without using any subversive vernacular. Oh, never watched somebody live before? Welcome to the club. What are you? Are you 12 years old? First time on YouTube? Oh my gosh. But anyway, where am I at? Where am I at? It. I'm at it. I've got it. Well, I've talked about where I'm at. I don't feel like saying where I'm at today. It's the same place I was at yesterday. So I think I mentioned where I was yesterday. You can watch more of my videos and find out where I'm at, where I dox myself, sort of. I have actually doxed myself. I have used my real name. I have said the town in which I live in, but that's because I've got nothing to hide and I am fearless. Am I naked? Broski, underneath all this clothing, I'm butt-ass naked. In fact, they said I could be naked at work as long as I wear all this clothing, so I get to be naked at work. Anyway, I live in a nudist town. You find a nudist town in the American Northeast, that's where I live. Anyway, Jesus, dude. Jesus was not a dude. Jesus wasn't a dude at all. And Jesus is not welcome here either, by the way. I know too much. And Jesus is not the good guy. Not by a long stretch. His story is such a lie. And the only thing you're actually thinking of is a mystery school tradition done in his name when he was having a priest class. And there's a reason why everything about his life is off the record. Let's see here. I'm earlier than usual. Today was one of those days where I just didn't want to be like 2 minutes late again. Got all sorts of stuff going on at the job for myself personally, and just because of the time of year that it is at present. Let me see, where are we at? It is, I'm so goddamn early that I still got like, I still got like 25 minutes or something before I gotta be at work. So yeah, so I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna go up here to the job lot and relax for a little while before I pull in proper. Oh, I'm not used to it being so shady over here. It's not a lot of tall trees. It's a whole lot of sun. I'm gonna crash my car. Listen, my friend, people have been talking and driving at the same time while looking at their phone for shit for like a decade. I am no more threat to crash my car than literally any other guy who is not doing anything. Anyway, where I'm going is not important. I'm talking about deeper things in between little moments, like while my life is having its happenings, right? This is the things that I love to do because of the immense things that are on my mind that are not like worth more than a little blog. And then I run into, if this is your first time on my channel, if you look through, I also do live streams that are more properly put together, primarily reading Heidegger. I have a few interviews on this channel with some very interesting people. I recently re-uploaded an interview I did because I've been doing this game for a very long time, back in 2018, and I've been doing this kind of shit since 2012 that nobody will ever know, care, understand, and that's fine because I just want to see the world get better because I spoke the right incantations. Jordan Maxwell, who I've interviewed thrice in the past, back in when the world was still in the clutches of absolute darkness. Now there's many people that are stepping into the light because of guys that had to do a lot of work on themselves while doing a lot of work in the conversation in the alternative media leading up to it, because everything was getting uglier and uglier with how they were using every little issue to manipulate people. War on Terror, the latest virus on the march. If somebody was on the phone and they have the thing on where they can pull it and just talk about driving and not looking out their phone. Yeah. Well, you're just worried. Yeah, you're just worried about an accident. Listen. You're not intelligent enough for this conversation. You're just looking to be entertained. It's NASCAR for you, right? You saw a guy driving and talking, and he said, "Oh, let's see what kind of garbage is coming out of his mouth, and let's see if I get to see an accident," because you don't really care about the subject matter. You certainly don't know me or really care about me, right? So you're looking for me to entertain you, and that's fair. YouTube is a place for education. It's a place for entertainment. It's a place for practice. You can do all sorts of things with the YouTube format. You can have this kind of a conversation with people that are engaging you when the operation is having live. Right? So, did I skip my meds today? Oh, did I skip my meds today? You think meds make people sane? It's the low-hanging fruit. It's the low-hanging fruit. That's the easy one. That's the easy one. Get the guy irritated by implying that he's off his rocker, making him insecure and defensive and having to explain himself. I get it. Because I have delusions of grandeur. Because I think I am a wizard. Because I think I think I can do a Dragon Ball Z thing. Ooh. I know. I'm a absolute bonkers crazy madman who holds down his respectable job, doing good hard labor, and being reliable and dependable, effective, making improvements upon the workplace that I am at, and all of those wonderful, wonderful qualities that I don't have to prove to anybody. And when you've done the thing with your ego, it all means something different, right? It all means something different. And it's just the difference about how something feels when a friend says it versus versus a stranger or somebody who you don't have that same relationship with, right? And then you struggle and you feel guilty about it because it's just like you don't want to you want to dismiss your feelings because you can't rationalize really why it's upsetting. So then you lie to your heart, and then your ego has to compensate because you're lying to yourself. And then this is when you slip into the inauthentic facade. This is when you slip into the fake smile, because now people that don't respect you, don't like you, still act like they like you, and they want you to smile, and they smile, and to dismiss the slights that they've done against you. And then because you've already lied to yourself that your emotions don't matter, you tell yourself it is the right thing for me to do to die a little bit inside because I'm being ridiculous. And we struggle with that. Are you a hippie pagan, or did you do time in the penitentiary? Oh, hippie pagan. Hippie pagan. Where do you get the hippie from? Where do you get the hippie from? Where do people's heads at? Hippies. Hippies! What kind of fucking... What gave you the impression that I'm a hippie? Right? Oh, I have my shirt off. Thus I'm a hippie. Hippies are the only kinds of people that like to bear skin in public. Is that your understanding of the world? Is that your rationale? You're not a very good comedian. Are you practicing your insult comedy on me? Because your routine sucks. You're going to get eaten alive by hecklers if that's your opening fucking joke. All right? You're going to have to do way better than that to get me to laugh and to get your friends to laugh. Just to let you know, you're going to have to go back and take some time. I mean, like, I will sit there and I will insult a comedian, a professional comedian, to their face if I feel so inclined, which I did. Well, not to their face. But that's because not because I was a coward, it's because I was upset. I didn't really want to say those things. But if I really didn't care about the person, oh yeah, I would have fucking said it, right? Am I a hippie because I smoke pot? Is that why I'm a hippie? You know, I want to know. You're my new audience, right? These are the new people that I asked for when I had an emotional breakdown live on air over some bitchy, stupid shit. You're naked preaching in your car outside. Yes! Yes, I am. And you find my time valuable. Isn't that something? You like to watch raving lunatics naked in their car preaching. What does that say about you? Are you running a psych profile? Is this going to be, you're going to do reaction? You're going to be like, let's talk about these fucking crazy people in their cars that fucking smoke pot and think they talk to God. Look at this guy. Is he a fucking cult leader? We gotta worry about all of them. We have to go to war with the naked ones. They're coming. You can say I'm coming for their children, and then you'll get all the right-wing conservatives to fight for you, right? But then I'll have lefty friends because they'll all think that I'm being victimized, right? And because people don't understand my position in the first place, I can exploit both sides because it's funny. Because they'd have to pay attention to figure it out, and then by the time they figured it out, they said, "Oh, he's none of these things. He's just doing his own thing. It's not for me, but I ain't got nothing against it." And then my life gets to move on, and I don't worry about falling or even going up. I'll go up on my own. And just so you know who I am, 17. 17. All right. You're 17. Who knows where your life's gonna go? You might hit a point where you don't give a shit because you've been hurt so bad. You just might not give a shit because of pain, right? Because you know, you stepped into the wrong world, and then everything you thought and believed to be true fell apart, and you said, what's the point? What's the point of whatever for people? Because you're on your own independent journey. You're braving to be rejected in the process of finding yourself, and that's a big part of maturing the ego, is being able to reject everyone around you to find yourself. Is it summer? Are you from the southern regions where it is winter time? I'm in the American Northeast. It is almost summer. We are towards the end of spring now. You're just genuinely concerned. No, no, you're not. You're not genuinely concerned. You just find it interesting. What are you going to do if an accident happens? You have no idea who I am yet. You have no idea where I am yet. You have no idea what road I'm on. You wouldn't know who to call, right? You wouldn't know who is in my network to say, hey, listen, I noticed you're a fan. You wouldn't waste the time. You've got busy things to do. You're not concerned. You're fascinated. You're just fascinated. You're not concerned. You don't know me enough to be concerned. It isn't your concern. It's I haven't let you into my world, my personal world. Different rules, right? It's called Hemisphere, buddy. I don't care what it's called. I call it the Southern Region. You're welcome. Yes, I heard you say 17. I responded to that. See, that's your ego. That's your ego right there. You demand to be heard, right? You demand to be known, right? It is important that I know your age, your education level, your maturity, your assumptions. You go to public school? They won't teach you a goddamn thing in public school other than how to hold down a job. And that is going to be the most limiting thing they could ever possibly give you, is just enough to hold down a job. But the amount of time that they ask for the amount of games they make you play, memory games they make you play, just so you can fucking hold down a job to be a part of a workforce of someone else's dream. And there's not too much malintent in that system at face value, because the idea is that you're supposed to figure it out for yourself, but they don't give you any support network to figure it out for yourself unless you put in all that effort and people like openly tell you all about it when you understand it. I went through a lot of difficulties, a lot of struggles. There's a little bit of the idea of the personal therapy through the relationship with the public audience that I go through, saying like, these are my struggles that are too small for therapy, but just big enough where there's plenty of people that are just like me. You guys are new here. You might be condescending and insulting, you know, your knuckleheads, your chuckleheads. If you're 17 years old, I'm sorry, you just are. You're not mature yet. You haven't reached that level of maturity. You know, you're a student. You've got play. You expect your work to be enjoyable by and large, and then you get to have your playtime as you develop, and you're going to make more money. You're going to enhance your education, enhance the career that you want. You may sacrifice X, Y, and Z things, but as long as you're having fun, you'll be fine. This will be your life because you didn't take any risks, and that's okay. That's the way you want to go. Just don't stand in my way, because I'm not a threat to anybody else, and I'm not standing in your way, right? I'm just here. I've made some very, very odd choices, some very, very foolish choices in my life, but I've collected golden levels of wisdom. And all you guys are new. It's great seeing you. It's the people that have been with me, and why I have 229 subs or whatever now, and I've had more in the past before I lost the prior channel. I've had up to 750 in the past. You know that they're impressed. There are people that I've impressed that are good and decent people in this world. I have fought to make a difference, and you can make a big difference with a small group of people. Just has to be the right group of people. And the right group of people have heard me, and there will be more of them to come. So check out some of my work where I'm not driving in my car. Go check out some of my interviews. I think you'll get a different impression because I'm a multifaceted individual, enjoying his life more than one could possibly fucking imagine. And that's going to involve disappointment and pain and all that stuff. And it rocks once you get through the shit you don't want to deal with, as long as you are authentic to oneself. Because it gets better every day. As long as you earn it. I promise you that. All right, I'm going to get ready for work. I'll catch you guys later.